I'm Vicky of Bondatrix. Today I'm going to talk about how to talk to your partner about kinky stuff. So either the two of you have watched something together and decided that you'd like to try a bit of kinky things, or one of you has got more of an idea that you might be kinky than your partner has. So a lot of the time people build something up into a massive thing and then diverge onto their partner with this huge discussion about lots of things that they instantly want to try and totally overwhelm their partner. Usually a much better approach is to try with something small and just bring up a little bit of slap or tickle or scratching or holding a wrist down in bed and just starting with something small. If you enjoy that, then you can start looking into kinky things together. When you are looking at kink stuff, it's important before you start playing with anything serious to have a discussion. Have an open chat, the two of you, where you can mention things that you're interested in, things that you're not interested in, things that you might be in the future but you're not quite sure about, things that might be a bit of a turn on, things that might be a turn off. It's just about getting to know you and your partner and what things sound exciting and interesting, and at this point it's also perfectly fine to say some things might be but they're not at the moment, and some things you think they're definitely not for you. And both of you can have as much input into that discussion as you want. Don't feel that you've got to go along with something because your partner's enthusiastic about it and they find it really exciting and hot if it just makes you shudder and think, no, I'm really not interested in that. The whole point of BDSM is just to have fun together, exploring interesting different things that you don't normally get to do in your everyday life. And if something sounds a bit weird or scary, just leave it for now. In a year's time, 5 years' time, if you get into BDSM, you might find later on it's interesting. It doesn't matter if it doesn't interest you now. The other thing you want to talk about when you are talking about kinky things that you might try together is who is going to be in charge. Who's going to be the dominant? The dominant is the person who leads the scene. So they'll be the one who is either holding the flogger, tying the other person up, ordering them about on what they should be doing. The negotiation at this point before you begin doing any of that is where the submissive also has control, because they have the control to say which things are interesting, which things are not interesting, what they would like to try and what they don't want to try. And the idea of talking about this thoroughly now is so that later on when you are trying something, the dominant isn't having to constantly check in with the submissive of, would you like to try this? Would that be okay? If the dominant's got a broad idea of the kind of things that the submissive is interested in, then the play can flow a lot more. It doesn't mean the dominant isn't allowed to ask any questions during the play session. It's perfectly fine, particularly when you're starting out and getting used to things as the dominant, to check in with the submissive. So when you are playing, say, how did that make you feel? Is this going how you'd like it to go? Are you feeling good right now? Is this sexy? Don't be afraid to ask those questions if it's what you need to feel comfortable as the dominant. Equally as the submissive, it's fine to ask questions during play. Am I doing the right thing? Am I pleasing you? Is this going how you would enjoy it? Are you having a good time? But by talking through things as much as you can at the start, before you begin any of that play, then it reduces the need to talk about those things during the play which might interrupt things. Also talk about when you're going to do the play session. So if you're a couple and you're going to play, are you going to play at home? Are you going to go to a club? Have you got kids that you've got to think about sending them round to a friend's house? Are you going to book a hotel room so that you can be away from your normal everyday life and have a bit more escapism? So talk about when is practical, where is practical, and the kind of things that you are interested in doing together. And know that you can have another chat again the next time or 3 times down the line when you want to play. This doesn't have to be a big definitive chat. Thank you for listening.